Hello again. So I would just like to say thank you to everybody who has contributed and shared the page link around so far. It has really helped out. Last I checked, we've raised $1,443, I believe, and that's incredible. That is absolutely insane, and I love every minute of it. Also got a lot of positive response from the previous reading that I did, and I thought I would do another one for you. This one is titled The Boring Man. An ordinary man, he got up at 6:55 a.m. every weekday morning. He got out of bed and, to save time, set his coffee to brew while he took a shower, where he soaped first his head, then his body. He got dressed in a business casual shirt and slacks, then sat on the edge of his bed and pondered calling in sick that day. He never did. He poured his coffee into a travel mug, knowing that it saved him a few dollars a day over buying from a local cafe. He took that few dollars a day and saved it in a special bank account. He had quite a bit now. He thought he might spend it on a cruise one day. On his way to his office job, he took the shortest route, always being in the correct lane for his destination well ahead of time, cursing those who cut him off at the last minute, but not loudly. He parked in his office parking lot at the first open space he saw, usually a few rows back from the entrance. He got to his office building and greeted the front desk reception girl, a few years his junior. He gave her the same mildly flirtatious but not overtly noteworthy banter that he always gave her. It was pleasant, witty, safe, and incredibly boring. She forgot about it as soon as he walked away, every day. He worked all morning, largely dealing with the papers printed from digital copies, scanned in from original copies, that are themselves stored, presumably, in a black hole someplace. He ate his lunch, which he made himself the night before and packed in a brown paper bag with his name on it, and this morning put in the company fridge. When someone stole his lunch, as they occasionally did, he wrote unsigned passive-aggressive notes and taped them to the fridge when nobody was looking. After lunch, he went back to his desk, chuckled under his breath at some of the pictures sent to him by coworkers, got very little work done, and went home. At home, he cooked a modest meal with very little salt, watched the news, then went to bed, to sleep, and dream. "John? Hey, is that you?" The voice is very near to him, and somehow knows his name, but it's not familiar. John lays still and doesn't bother opening his eyes. Whoever it is will realize their mistake and go away, he thinks. Then something hits him in the face. He opened his eyes in an instant, ready to yell profanities at whoever hit him. He looked around his bedroom at the light of a nearby street lamp shining through his closed blinds, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. He convinced himself it was a dream, even though his face still stung, and laid back down. "It is you!" The voice is back, this time full of excitement. John opens his eyes and sees who's been calling him. It looks like a normal, slender man, only green-skinned and with two small antennae growing out of his head. It reminds John of what a child would think an alien would look like. "Nobody has heard from you in so long that they sent me out looking for you. Took me months to track you down, but now I'm here! Everybody will be so pleased to see you!" The alien beams a toothy smile at John. John sits in bed, confused. Do I know you?" he says, calmly, then wonders why he's being calm. "What are you doing in my room? How did you get in here?" The alien rolls his eyes. "I've already told you why. As for how," he points towards the closet door. "Same as always." "You came out of my closet," John says, then looks at the near-glowing pink plastic tunic and blue vest the alien is wearing. "Fair enough." The alien pulls John up by his arm. "Come on," he says. "They're all waiting for you." "Who is?" But the alien doesn't answer. He drags John over to his closet and opens the door, then pulls him through. Inside is not the line of near-identical work shirts he is expecting, nor is the matching luggage set his grandmother had gotten him a long time ago sitting on the floor, still unused. Instead, he steps out into a bright and joyful world. The sun rains down upon him like a warm spring day. Birds play in the nearby pond. Green fields and forests stretch out in all directions, and nearby is a picnic table, covered in all the most delectable treats you can imagine. Around the table sits a giant pink bunny, a knight in full armor, a scantily clad witch, and a whole myriad of other creatures. "I found him!" the alien calls out. The whole group lets out a cheer as one rushes over to the astonished John. Between torrents of, "Where have you been?" and "We've missed you so much!" each creature or person embraces John in turn. Some even kiss him. The last to reach him was the alien. "You've grown older," he says, smiling. "What game do you want to play?" Suggestions came in from all around. A princess wants to play the dragon game, to which the knight heartily agrees. A mobster wants to play heist. A pirate walk the plank. And a curiously fine-dressed turtle in a tuxedo is wearing a monocle. Wants to play high tea. John has so many questions like, where am I? Why is that turtle talking? And who are all of you? But suddenly, something snaps into place, and he remembers them all. He remembers the games they would play, the magical rescues, the dramatic fights, the joyful abandon of just playing, all when he was a child. He would visit them, often, always when asleep, the people in the walls, and they would play until he woke up. John smiles to himself as the warm feeling of home comes over him. "Let's play the dragon game," he said, his face suddenly cold as the alarm klaxon rang in his ears. His heart sank as he got out of bed. He started his coffee. He took his shower. He went into his room and stood naked in front of his closet door. He closed his eyes and threw it open, stepping through into a row of shirts and a pile of unused luggage. With bitter disappointment, he got dressed and went to work. After lunch, he emailed one of his friends in the same office, explaining the dream. His friend wrote back, listing off various psychological problems the dream could signify. John read it with interest. He swung by the drugstore after he was off work. Once he arrived at his apartment, he made a modest dinner, he watched the news, and then he went to sleep. "So, the dragon game, was it?" the alien says, smiling at him. They found his body 4 days later, still in bed, clutching the bottle of sleeping pills in his cold hand. He had a strange smile on his face. On his nightstand was a note with only 2 words written on it: "Going home." What is art? The question hangs in the air, begging to be answered, knowing with smug satisfaction that no real answer exists. "I don't know," the man replies. He stands in front of an easel, staring at the blank bit of parchment there, holding a dry paintbrush in a clenched fist, dangling at his side. "If you don't know, why are you trying to create it?" The words strike the man like a stiff wind on a winter's day. He begins to tremble. "I have to," the man whispers. "It's important." He lifts his brush and smears 2 colors together on his palette. "Why is it important?" The man stops. "People need art," he croaks. "The world has enough artists. It doesn't need more." He sets his paintbrush in a nearby tray and picks up another, smaller one. "I need art," he admits. "And what makes you so special?" The words wash over him. He takes a deep, unsteady breath, closes his eyes, and lets it out again. "Nobody can create what I can create." The man opens his eyes. He puts down the second paintbrush and exchanges it for a knife. "Of what use is art?" He stabs into the top left corner of the canvas and pulls the blade diagonally across the field. "Art makes us think, and feel, and laugh." He plunges the blade in at the side and twists it. "It tells a story," he continues, "but hides the ending." He grabs a nearby stapler and closes the large wound in the canvas with it. "Why would it do that?" The man takes up a brush once again and mixes colors expertly. "Because," he replies, "it doesn't know what it will be." You're not going to let me read at all. You're going to be in all of the shots, doing all of the things, being a cat. Alright. This office parking lot. And kill that thing before I break it.